Whiskey. Skid. It's over his game. Back with the last room. You're back, boys. Sorry, I just kind of want to wet my hands here. Alrighty, so how you guys all doing? Let me know. We're going to jump into this right away because then we'll be able to squeeze in 2 episodes of Hedgehog Bros. And Mr. Bays wants to do that. You know what I mean? So hit that like button if you guys do enjoy. Would appreciate. Go for 6 likes. That'd be awesome. Hit that subscribe and you guys are going to need more far content like this as always. What's good, Dan? Welcome to the stream. Last one of the year, yes sir. And then we got continuation of and then we got more continuation tonight, or we're the prey. So we got continuation of that as well. So definitely excited for that. To then get caught up on the prey. So that's gonna be fire. So, Tennessee was a tremendous to Hale Burton. Oh, yes. Yes, that lovely cliffhanger, of course. Of course. So yeah, hit those. Ooh, pretty heavy. Yeah, that'll be fun. We're gonna start that too. Yes, I will be. Yes, we'll be starting that next week. Just because we obviously doing it this week before we're going mad. So yeah, check out Dan Reviews, of course, and check out Mega Man. Links for their channels are in the description. Show them love, support. Tell them Mr. Ray sent you. The playlist for World Gone Mad Complete Universe is in the description, so definitely do check that out as well. I definitely recommend it if you guys want to see the entire thing. And then my playlist for my reaction to the series eventually will be in the description as well, so definitely do check that out if you are interested. My social media, stay up to date with me all the time. Links below. Be extra notified, especially if YouTube does not. And then some. So check those all out. Second channel, Twitch, Heisenberg's channel. Become a member. All there down below as always. Check them out. Get extra content. Help support me. You name it. Appreciate it very much. It goes a long way. Like I said, 6 likes. That'd be awesome. I'm gonna jump into this. Episode 5, Ballad of the Dead. I think that's how you say it. I was gonna ask you what the full title was, but I ended up just clicking on it anyway. So, let's get it. Here we go.
Music mode. Talk mode.
Laboratory 3 over. Decontamination number 1.
We hear the screams as we then cut to inside the room. As a woman is standing in a lab coat, as we see her taking notes, as we see a man in a closed off room, as we see a deadhead bites them on the neck, as the blood goes everywhere. The woman then says,
Fais sûr que les cadrans viennent de m'aider restent dans leur position.
as she walks away, as we see, she walks up to a computer and starts writing stuff down. As we see the blood running across the floor. We see the helicopter flying above the town of Halliburton as Kezia then fires. Several buildings get blown up as we see people running for their lives. We then see a few people running out of the buildings on fire as we see they are burnt very badly. As some are fighting for life as they then drop dead and burn alive. Tom and Billy hear this from down the street as Tom says, "Go! Get those guns now! Take out every chopper you see!" As Tom takes Billy as he says, "Where are we going?" Tom says, "Somewhere safe, kiddo. Come on." We then see even more buildings get blown up as Tom says, "Go! Run! That way, go!" As we see another explosion goes off right in front of them as they both go down.
Oh shit. Ah, different music. Interesting. Dexter times for the intro. Or darker times for the intro. Oh, okay. Try it. Looked at it wrongly. For whatever reason, I thought you were saying Dexter.
We see the night sky as we then see Haley, Rob, Rivers, and Arlo running through the woods. Arlo says, "Hey, try again." Haley pulls out her walkie-talkie and says, "Tom, this is Haley, do you copy?" They look worried as we hear, it's breaking up as Haley says, "Shit, come on, we gotta go." Rivers says, "We got deadheads." Rob says, "All right, let's take them out." Rob slashes two of them as Arlo then covers him and kills one coming up behind him. Haley uses her pickaxe to kill two, but then Haley falls through a floor covered in vines. Rob says, "Haley!" She falls in this flooded basement in this destroyed building. As Rivers then says, "We fight to get her out, come on!" As Haley then says, I'm alright. As we then hear a growling noise from inside the basement. She pulls out her knife as she moves through this old, disgusting looking water. Rivers circles around to the destroyed front of the building. She walks through, trying to get in to save her. We see she continues to hear growling as Haley stands there with her knife. As Rob says, "What is that?" As Haley keeps moving, as we see a massive deadhead comes out of the water. Haley looks up at this as it roars at her. Rob hears this and yells, "Haley!" He says, "Go down there! You and Rivers, get that door open!" Arlo says, "Where are we going?" Rob says, "Making sure we don't lose another West. Come on!" As he then jumps in to save her, she then sees him and says, "What the hell are you doing, Johnson?" Rob says, "You really think I was going to let you do this alone? Get back!" He pulls out his gun as he shoots the deadhead over and over and over again. But no matter how many times he shoots, and no matter how many times he fires at this deadhead, it only gets knocked back by a bit. As it continues to walk towards them, Rob then pushes some shelves towards him to give them an opening. They go through this building as Haley then finds a Molotov cocktail as she then takes one off the shelves. We then see Rivers and Arlo bust down the door as Arlo says, "Hey, freak! On us now, come on!" The deadhead then turns around and starts going towards them. As Rivers then comes in and throws two of her knives into the deadhead's brain, she then starts shooting it a few times over and over again. As we see, it starts bleeding very badly. It then picks up Arlo off the ground and throws him towards the wall. As Rivers then finds another Molotov cocktail as well on another one of the shelves. Haley then gets hers ready as Rivers does the same. As they then give each other a signal, and then they throw both of them towards it as it starts falling down and burning. We see it still starting to move as they all push the shelves on top of this deadhead as they crush it. Haley then takes her pickaxe and stabs it in the head, killing it for good.
Damn.
As they all stand there, out of breath, as they all look at this thing, as Rob says, "In the last 15 fucking years, I've never seen anything like that before." River says, "I haven't either. I've seen some crazy ones. I can't say I've seen anything like that. When you shoot them in the head, they usually go down. Multiple shots were fired. And it took fucking everything for even one of those things to go down. What the fuck is this thing?" Haley then sees green liquid pouring out of the deadhead's neck. She then says, "Whatever it isn't natural. Someone somewhere is doing this. This isn't the dead we've known." They hear more explosions coming from far. As Rivers looks worried and says, "Guys, we gotta go, now." As they all keep running back to the Halliburton community, as we focus on the dead corpse of this bloated deadhead, as we see the green liquid continue to pour out of its neck.
camper. Looking forward to this panel. Thank you. With the new dead end barbecue. Yeah, seems like.
Back in Halliburton, we see Tom and Billy are on the ground as they were both knocked back by the explosion. Then Tom sees Billy on the ground and says, "Hey, are you okay?" Billy says, Yeah, I think so." We see more buildings are getting blown up as we see the choppers flying overhead. As Tom sees this and says, "All right, I'm getting you to the pantry," Billy says, "But I want to help." Tom says, "That is not happening. Come on, it's just down this block." Tom radios Blake and says, "Blake, make sure you get all the families and children in that bunker we built. Make sure nobody gets down there, okay?" Blake says, okay, got it."
Hopefully not too many die. Damn.
We then see several Zultramite trucks pulling up outside of Halliburton's walls. As we see the soldiers stepping out, as we see one of them says, "This is good. Once they land, we move in." "Officer Sampson, Officer Ellicott, take a search around the area. Make sure we're clear." As we see, these officers are Colin and Rebecca, who are now soldiers for Zultramite as well. As Colin says, "How many people inside?" The soldier then says, "Well, that's what we want you both to find out. Shoot to kill in there, understand?" Colin says, "Of course," as they just nod and go along with it.
Colin is back, yeah.
Back in Zultramite, we see the party is starting as we see everyone having a good time. As we see Enzo and Julia walking into this party with a few of his men. As everyone clears the room and lets them through. We then see Mr. Sunderland at the bar, standing there serving everyone drinks. As we see Conductor Matthew shows up, as he says, "Oh, Conductor Matthew, I expected you to skip this one. Given the fact you're a fucking conductor, I thought that maybe it would be kind of painful." Matthew laughs and says, "You really can't stand awkward silence, can you?" Mr. Sunderland says, "Fuck no. That's why I became a bartender. I love conversations, even the ones that are the most difficult to have. And good job for keeping the train moving when others didn't get the chance to do the same. I would like to just say as a citizen that you are doing a fantastic job, Conductor Matthew." Matthew smiles and says, "Yeah, this is totally what I want to be doing." He walks off into the party as we see Enzo walks up to his own private VIP section of the party. As we see, some guys let him through. As we see, even Julia sits in the VIP section with Enzo. As we see, his guys sit there. As we see the party going on. We see Dave walking the streets doing his patrol, as he then hears these people laughing and yelling as he goes down this alleyway to see what's going on. He sees these people are spray painting stuff on the walls. As we see Dave walking up to this, they then pull out a gun and start shooting at Dave. Dave gets back behind the building as he pulls out his gun and he fires back. As he radios in, "This is Constable Miller, calling in for backup, over." We hear a response saying, "Copy that, we're on our way." As Dave fires his gun towards these men, we see they run away, as Dave says, "Shit," as he proceeds to run after these men.
Oh, shit. Get him, Dave. Bunch of scrubs. Back in Halliburton.
We see Blake running through the streets with as many of the families as he could round up. As we see Natalie in the crowd and says, "Where are we going?" Blake says, "Somewhere safe." As we see some of the families getting into the bunker, as Blake then stands by the door, as he closes it and says, "Okay, everyone just remain calm. We need to all stay calm, alright? Tom and the others are going to deal with this. For now, we need to keep the rest of you here safe, okay?" One of the women then says, "They killed my mother. She was inside the house. She was..." Blake says, "I'm sorry." We didn't get to everyone. I know we didn't. But I did what I could. The ones that we did lose, Tom is making sure they're going to be avenged now. So our role in here is one thing. Surviving. As we see Blake seems to be willing to man up and protect the innocents. We see several buildings on fire as we see Arthur and Kezia land their chopper. As Kezia looks pissed, as Arthur looks happy and says, "How's it going, Taylor?" "I'm mighty tickled to see the success that we've already been having this evening." He looks over as she says, "You're a fucking monster. You didn't give me a fucking choice." Arthur says, "I know, but so are these people. They're monsters as well. They ran away from the best goddamn opportunity they ever saw all these years ago. And now they're seeing exactly what it's like to not live in the best city in the world." Kezia says, "The best? So I guess that's what you tell yourself, huh?" Arthur says, "I would watch that tone of yours if I were you, sweetheart.
Yeah, bullshit.
Our mission isn't done here. Let's go." They get suited up and get off the helicopter, as Arthur says, "Sweep the town, shoot to kill." He radios in and says, "Officer Sampson, Officer Aleko, do you copy?" Colin picks it up and says, "We're here. We'll shoot anybody that tries getting out." Arthur says, "Good. We're going to contain this. When this is done, I want you to venture out about 5 to 10 miles of every direction. Make sure we don't miss anything, or anyone that may be potentially slipping through the cracks. We gotta consider all possibilities here." Colin says, "Of course, sir. Understood." As we see Colin and Rebecca at the vantage point, as he pulls out his gun, as he gets ready to snipe anyone from Halliburton that he sees, as Rebecca says, "Who the hell are these people, Colin?" Colin says, "Not sure. An enemy of the city is all they told me." Rebecca says, "Colin, this is inhumane." Colin says, "I know it is. But it's this or we die with them. Dave made the choice for us. Dave made sure that everybody survived that night. Now I'm going to make sure we survive this one. And besides, we don't even know these damn people."
Well, maybe not all of them, but some of them.
We see the party going on as we see Julia walking by the crowd on her way back to Enzo, as we see a man stops her and says, "Julia, I don't mean to bother you, but we're trying these wonderful new milkshakes out. We would love for you to be one of our first taste testers." Julia then sees Enzo talking with some of his guys as she says, "Sure, might as well. I'm not supposed to be bothering him while he's making his little deals anyway, so what do we have here?" The guy says, "We'll have a straw, and that's a cream soda milkshake. Happy Milkshake Monday." Julia says, "Well, cool, but it's Friday." The guy then says, "Well, we'll just fire up the old blender, and we'll make it Float Day Friday." Julia says, "Interesting. Well, thanks." We see Enzo sitting in the VIP section, as we see Enzo and his boys talking to these men, as Enzo says, "You come to me with an offering." The guy says, "Anything for you, Commander. And no, I have a few guns ready to be transported, ready for your men's transportation. And in trouble times like this, I figured you would have jumped to the idea." Enzo laughs at this and says, "Well, you really think I'm just going to take any kind of fucking deal that comes at me? That's not how we do business. And it's actually fucking times like this that doesn't make me jump to deals like this. You understand?" The guy says, "I understand. But perhaps you could reconsider. We could talk some numbers or something." Enzo says, "Why the fuck are you so desperate to make this deal today?" "We will, but not here." The man says, "Enzo, please! I really need this deal to happen. My daughter, she's sick. She needs treatment, okay? And I have no money to help her. Prices here have been insane, sir, and I'm just asking if maybe you could cut me some slack." Enzo then looks at him and says, "Oh, well, my heart goes out to her. Truly fucking do. And I truly hope somebody could help you." The guy looks angry, and Enzo says, "We'll have more to discuss tomorrow. Kindly for now, fuck off. Now get the fuck out there, will you? It's been 5 minutes." The guy starts walking out, as we then see Mr. Sunderland walks up to his guys and serves them drinks. And Enzo says, "Oh, look, it's our Scotland lad. The fucking guy looks like he's right out of the In-Betweeners cast. Anyone seen that show, gentlemen?" A few of them laugh as Mr. Sunderland then serves them, and Enzo says, Oh, fuck no. I'm not fucking drinking tonight. I'm trying to keep a level head here. And I don't drink unless it's a very rare occasion. The commander must be on full alert at all times. Mr. Sunderland says, of course, sir. Say, could I possibly introduce to you a, non-alcoholic beverage? Christ, there's plenty to go around. Enzo just looks at him, and Mr. Sunderland says, well, if you need anything at all, Commander, I'll be right down here. Enzo waits for him to leave and says, he's a persistent little fuck, isn't he? As they all laugh, as we see Mr. Sunderland looks to be a little disappointed.
Yeah, I would be. Back in Halliburton.
Back in Halliburton,
Now you say it.
we see Tom and Billy running through the streets as we see dead, burned bodies all around. As Tom sees the door to the underground pantry, as he says, there, go!
Make up your mind, Mr. Dan. You gonna say it or not?
We see Kezia walking through the streets with smoke all around as we see burned, innocent civilians are just laying in the streets. She looks sad. But then, we see one of them is a little boy.
Oh.
As we see he's still breathing. As he is barely holding on to dear life. Kezia walks up to this suffering little boy that she got killed. As he is reaching his hand up, trying to stay alive, Kezia sees this as she looks disgusted with herself. He sits there as we see tears coming down her face as she says, I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. I'm so fucking sorry. She then stabs the kid in the head and ends his life, ending his suffering. She then stands in the smoke as she pulls out her walkie, as we hear a voice saying, clear up on Main Street, daily report. Kezia picks up the walkie in a very horrified manner and says, every house is clear. I'm coming back. As she keeps moving. We see Tom and Billy get inside the pantry. Tom then gets some guns on him. He grabs 2 knives, 2 pistols, 2 machine guns, and a few more grenades to put on him as he says, all right, I'm going out there. I'm taking these bastards out. Billy says, hey, I can help you. Tom says, no, you're absolutely not. You're staying here where you're safe. Billy says, but I can. Tom says, look, I know you got the fight in you, kid. I know that better than anyone. You have your dad's blood in you. And your mother's too. But you're my best friend's son, kid. And he wouldn't want me to allow you to do this. I lost him. I can't lose you too, kid. Billy says, well, neither can I. Tom says, hey, listen. I need you to stay here. You guard that door, okay? Your job is making sure that none of those soldiers come through that door. You understand? You got the whole arsenal on you. They won't take you down if you're in here. You understand? Billy says, okay. Yeah, I can do it. Tom takes several guns with him in a bag as he goes up there to fight, leaving Billy to stand guard.
You got this. Yeah, she's feeling the consequences. I mean, I figured she would.
We see he runs up the hill as he then goes to Blake and Marissa's house. He sees Blake in armor as we see several fighters inside, as Tom says. I didn't think you'd show up. Blake says, hey, I may not like this town's leadership, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to defend it, Ginger. Tom says, that a boy. One of the fighters then says, how are we supposed to do this? They have choppers and guns. Tom says, well, we got one of those things. The guy then says, how are we supposed to do this? Rob ain't here. Or Rivers? Or Arlo? Tom says, hey, believe me, I'm scared shitless about where they are right now. But it doesn't change what's going down. This is what we've been waiting for. It may not have been the night we planned. Whether I like it or not, I did this. To all of you. I got us into this. Now it's time for me to get you out. So, let's save this town.
W time. Zilchermite.
We see Dave running through the streets as he then sees one of these guys as he runs after him and he tackles him to the ground. He then says, "I got you now, motherfucker. What you're doing is against the law, son, and we don't like conspiracies here. On top of that, you shot at a cop, so I don't think this is going to end very well for you in the court of law." We see the other guys come out from behind and knock Dave down.
Ah, shit.
They take his gun off of him as they start beating him up. But as we see these men are kicking Dave over and over again, we then see a small smile on Dave's face as he is almost enjoying this. But then we see police cars surrounding the area as we see the Zilchermite police have shown up for backup. They then take all of them down as we see the officers yelling, "Freeze! Nobody move!" We see the officers help Dave up and says, "Constable Miller, you okay? Constable Miller, you okay?" Dave says, "Ah, yeah, I think so."
Damn. Zilchermite Police Station. Oh, this is good.
We then see Dave with ice on his shoulder as he's talking to one of the officers and says, "I warned him." One of the cops says, "Well, they're in custody now. Spreading propaganda was one thing. Beating up on a cop is a whole other thing to make their lives a living hell here. You may also have to make a statement in the court of law, Mr. Miller." Dave says, Yeah, I get it. Just make sure they pay."
Damn. Let's call for Dave. Oh, yeah.
He walks up to the cell where one of the guys is being held as he says, "That's a real stupid thing you did, you know that?" The prisoner says, "I can say the same for you, Dave Miller." Dave then looks on edge and he says, "How do you know my name?" The guy says, "Dave, there's a lot of people in this city that know about you. You're considered a legend to some. A lot of people know about you letting out a group of several prisoners, and you successfully got them out. That was your prison break that you did back in the day. And even though you bent the knee at the last minute, you did try. And you did succeed in some areas because not everyone that broke out got taken back in. And that's haunted the community for years now. And it's gotten a lot of people talking." Dave says, "So what? You're a kiss ass? Is that what this is?" The man laughs and says, "No, quite the opposite, in fact. And you may not believe me when I'm saying this, and you might think this is total bullshit, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I was hoping we'd get your attention tonight. And hell, why do you think we were spraying that shit on the walls nearby your patrol area? We were hoping that you would see what we were doing." Dave says, "Well, you got a funny fucking way of showing it. So what are you asking for me here? For me to get you and your hillbilly friends the fuck out of the city? Yeah, I don't think so." The guy says, "Hey, now listen. You did it once before. And you were capable of doing it once before. And I know you got people in the city that are relying on you. And there are people in this city whose lives are falling apart. People you haven't seen for ages. And I bet there's more people that you want to see on the outside, isn't there? I mean, they must have been if they were part of your escaping. All I'm saying here is, can you honestly say that you don't have what it takes to do what you did again, but do it for real? And hey, listen, if you do decide to go through with this, and if you do change your mind, I'll have you know I have a friend on the inside that I want you to meet. And I'm doing this and I'm asking you this because I have a friend on the inside that would really like to meet you. A friend on the inside that may have a little bit of experience doing the thing that you tried to do. If anybody knows how to get somebody out, he does. And he knows a lot about you, Mr. Miller. In fact, we all do." Dave sits there now looking very intrigued.
Very interesting. There's fans and Zilchermite at
Back in Halliburton, we see Tom, Blake, and Marissa and a bunch of the rebellion soldiers walking out with guns through the smoke. As we see, Ziltramite soldiers see them and start firing at them. Tom says, "Get back, get back!" They back up behind one of the Ziltramite trucks as they fire back and forth. As Blake says, "There's too many, Tom. We may have to flee. It's not late to turn." Tom says, "Shut the fuck up, Blake." He stands there next to him and pulls out 2 grenades as he throws them over his head and over the truck. As they blow up several of the soldiers, Tom says, "Now!" They all come out and fire at the wrecks. Arthur hears this as he hears on his walkie, "Sir, wait, we're in need of assistance. They're killing us. Tom slits the soldier's throat for Arthur to hear as he picks up the walkie and says, "Well, I'm not going to argue with him there," as Arthur looks pissed as he yells to his men, "Get down there! Damn lumberjack is dying tonight!" As Tom and the rebellion are going through the streets, killing soldier after
You need to die.
soldier.
That's who needs to die. Little prick.
Back with Billy. We see him in the pantry as he then hears something outside the hatch door. He hears the door open. As we see, 3 Ziltramite soldiers are inside. Billy goes for the gun as he holds his hand on the trigger and says, "Hey!" The soldier turns around as he lights them all up.
Woo!
But as we see, the gun knocks him back to the floor from the kick. We then see 2 of them are dead as we then see one of them gets up quick and pulls his gun. Billy draws his as the soldier then says, "Holy fuck! You're a kid!" Scratch that off my bucket list. You really should have known it wasn't going to go your way. As Billy pulls the trigger, but the gun is empty. The soldier turns around and laughs as he whips the gun at Billy and knocks him onto the floor. The soldier says, "Life is short, kid, especially for you." But then, out of nowhere, we see a glowing knife comes right through the guy's throat. As the blood goes everywhere, as the man then falls to his knees and dies. Billy turns around to see Rivers is back. She helps him up and says, Hey, are you okay, kid?" He gives her the knife back as he says, "Thanks, Aunt Rivers." Rivers says, "Anytime, kid. Here, take one of those pistols and come with me." Billy says, "But I don't know if I should. I mean, Tom said I need to stay here." Rivers just rolls her eyes and says, "Ooh, I love Tom, okay? I really do. But he can be a bit of a tyrant. Come on, kid. You're all in. Come on." As they walk out together.
W's Rivers. Yeah.
We see the rest of the rebellion firing against more of the Ziltramite soldiers, but then, out of nowhere, we see Rob, Haley, and Arlo come in and mow the rest of them down. Rob reloads his gun and says, "Well, home fucking sweet home." Haley says, "We clear them out. Check all the houses for survivors. Make sure the rest of the town is safe. Come on." Rob says, "You heard her. Let's go."
Damn, we uploaded a new video.
We see Colin looking through the scope of his sniper rifle. As he looks shocked, Rebecca says, "What is it?" Colin says, "It's Haley. These are our people." Rebecca looks shocked as he says, "Cover me. I'm ending this right now." As he then starts picking off Ziltramite soldiers in the streets, Arthur sees this and says, "What the hell is going on out there? Get off the street. Get off the street."
W's Colin.
Back in Ziltramite at the party, we see Ashley and Miles showed up to the party. Miles says, "I'll give that son of a bitch one thing. He can throw one hell of a party." Ashley says, "Just remember, no drinking."
Colin
Miles says,
is
"Clear
loyal.
minded."
Damn
Yeah.
straight.
What? I can do that. They enter the party as we see everyone having a good time, as Ashley says. "No matter how many of these happen, I still can never get used to it." Miles says, "Yeah, You and me both. We see Glenn and his wife are at this party. As we see them go up to Mr. Sunderland, as he says, "Hey Glenn, you look like someone who just stepped on your fucking dreams, mate." Glenn says, "Yeah, well, it's Canada, Sunderland. Despite what people say, it's not all friendly folks and apologies down here." Mr. Sunderland says, "Well, what can I do for you?" Glenn says, "Scotch, neat." Mr. Sunderland says, "Coming right up." We see Matthew walks up to the bar, and Mr. Sunderland says, "Conductor Matthew, I'll be with you in just 1 second, sir." Matthew says, "No, it's no problem. Take your time." "Boy, no offense, Glenn, but you look better, man." Glenn says, "Oh, you don't fucking say." "Yeah, I had these fucking kids prank me all night last night playing Ding Dong Ditch. I fell right down the stairs, face first." Matthew says, "Well, shit. That's terrible. Though I've wiped out before. This was before the outbreak, though. I was drunk, out of my mind one day, and I was going to do target practice. Damn near blew my dick off. So I can understand that being horrible for you. But it gets worse, buddy. Trust me." He then walks away as Sunderland serves them. We see Ashley and Miles as we then hear, "So you guys showed up too?" As we see, Sydney walks up to them, and Ashley says, "It's good to see you, Sydney." Sydney says, "Yeah, well, it's honestly nice to see anybody right now." Miles says, "Well, we'll be sitting over there if you want to join us." Sydney says, "Maybe later, sure." We see she looks really out of place. As we see, some of our people aren't even close anymore. As we can see, Sydney has a hard time even talking with our people. Later on, we see Sydney at the party talking with some people. As we then hear, "Hey dude, I didn't think you would show up." We see Pip, Kezia's friend, walks up to her. As Sydney says, "Pip?